It's been months since I've taken a shower or had contact with an actual breathing human. Crazy how you can just ignore present-day reality so easily these days.
Everyone's schedule can get very hectic at times. No matter what you are delegating your time to, it's going to build up over time. And life is just going to keep coming at you, no matter what. It's not going to stop. It's going to fill a room and outside of that room. And it will get to a point where it is overwhelming. Once it becomes a very overwhelming state, then it's really time to prioritize. And there's a natural charm a man has. Honestly, he's called out for it on a lot of different occasions. Most men are. But with this certain charm, you can utilize it to help you prioritize a lot of stuff within your life, to help it run a lot more smoother. When one prioritizes stuff, they delegate it, which means they put it ahead of other stuff. It is a lot more important than a lot more other things. When fulfilling the act of prioritization, it kind of works like in a list. You kind of put more stuff that's more important on top of that list that needs to be taken care of more presently. Then you kind of push off stuff more towards down said list that doesn't really need to be hands-on-y at the current moment. And it's a great surefire way to make that list to get you on that track to prioritizing and delegating stuff that can lead you more to enjoyment, fulfillment, whatever you may need within life to help it run a lot more pristine and smoother. But in a lot of instances, men procrastinate. A man could get motivated enough to make a list, to prioritize stuff within his days and follow it very diligently for a period of time, but maybe one day he just kind of gets bored off of one part of the list and doesn't feel that it is as important as the way the list is going, and kind of just trickle falls down said list, and everything kind of just becomes nothing to be engaged with. Back to square one. Simply that man is engaging in an act that is very common amongst a lot of men, that is called out for in a lot of instances. He's ignoring stuff completely. A huge grave that a lot of guys are called out for. Whether it be suppressing emotions in some kind of a way that is being noticed in that aspect, being completely lazy and a slob and not picking up after yourself with your hygiene or your living space. But in some situations, a man has to do what he has to do. Sometimes he neglects his hygiene and doesn't take off his work clothes from working a 10-hour shift because he's the only one in the household providing for the family, and he's tired at the end of the day and could care less about hopping in the shower after working such a dreading shift. He just wants to go home and eat and sleep. But no matter what, you need to take immense responsibility as life goes on for you. And in fact, that certain charm, that charm of ignoring stuff, is definitely a way a man can use to prioritize his life. But the secret trick to it is to ignore stuff that actually needs to be ignored and prioritize actions to stuff that doesn't. It may sound simple enough, but I bet you can account for a lot of situations where you were ignoring something that shouldn't have been ignored, and you were engaging in an act that should have been ignored. And all I'm saying is really think about that time you were ignoring something, and you shouldn't have been. Really pay attention to that depth of time that was completely wasted up until that responsibility was taken, and you were not pushing it off per se. Some cases, it could be a very long time, and I'd say that's proof in the pudding that that's pretty impressive that you could use that sense of ignoring something to delegate stuff, prioritize your life in the right direction. When one can ignore something properly, it can enhance attention and efficiency with one's own cognitive function. And there are 3 things a man can do to help him ignore stuff properly within his life, to help him prioritize so he can function his life the way he needs it to. And it starts with redirecting your attention. Engaging in activities that help you shift away from something that is bothering you, that is a complete distraction and not getting you anywhere within life, and builds overall self-esteem and enthusiasm at any present moment. An activity I engage in with personally is meditation. When I become overwhelmed with something, can't stop thinking about it, can't completely ignore the thought going on in my head, it just won't leave, meditation is a great way to get into the present state of what is actually going on presently and relax and let go and completely forget about stuff that needs to be forgotten, which will bring you to a grounded state, fully noticing what's going on presently at that time and just taking it all in, feeling it all, seeing, hearing, feeling, touching, tasting, everything. That's what's going on. That's what really matters. Ignore everything else. Minimizing engagement with certain aspects within your life is also a great way to properly ignore something that needs to be ignored. And the main thing to keep in mind with minimizing interactions within your life is to really see the relevancy behind the engagement that's going on. Is there true relevancy to your life from it? Is it relevant enough to your own responsibilities that you need to take on? And sometimes this can be kind of a fine line between stuff because you don't want to seem like an asshole, like you're just purposely ignoring someone that you just could care less about them. But honestly, in a lot of cases, you might meet some people that, you might want to act like that towards them because there's just no relevancy to it. But still, be polite about it. You had to cut ties with certain engagements that you are dealing with. And the third thing to help you properly ignore something is to release control from your own self. Broaden your perceptions. Have a realization of something that goes on and feel its trueness to it all and its connection to everything else that is going on. As in, there might be certain stuff you just can't avoid. You have to deal with it. But you have to realize from a broader perspective, it's part of everything that goes on and it makes your life function the way you need it to, no matter how it makes you feel at certain moments. Just ignore it, let it do its thing, and move on. Embracing serenity is also a good way to help. You might get in an argument with someone. That said person might say something very colorful towards you and you might take offense to it, and then you might hold on to it and it won't leave your head. You can't ignore what they said to you. You're just going to hold on to this and you're not going to interact with this person anymore. You could care less what they went through. They said what they said and it hurt you at that moment and you just can't let it go. Let it go. Really work on ignoring perceived negative vibes from people so you can maintain your composure at that present time, as if it's just nothing. Just rolls right off my skin like water on a duck's feather. It's completely just air flowing through my hair. And that all being said, focus on what matters to you. Direct your thoughts to something that is more meaningful and valuable within your life. And honestly, only focus on that. You can pretty much forget and ignore most things that don't play in the cards of that. Because why would you want to hold on to something that does not contribute to something of your own well-being? Guys, if you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share the video, or just ignore it. Thank you. You're gonna have a great day.